Ladies, it's your time to shine with all things fabulous with First for Women on Afternoon Express. For insurance with a host of fabulous benefits, call 0861 11 18 44 or SMS FIRST to 49267.
Today on Afternoon Express, meet the team, get the scoop on musical mom Zolan Mahola, a stupendous pork roast recipe, the lowdown on Karen Zoid's latest album, 5 minutes to fitness with footballer Ryan Botha, our Terry Pheto exclusive, designer Craig Port's Winter 2015 for men, then Karen and Zolani's live tribute to Nelson Mandela.
Good afternoon, South Africa. The day we've all been waiting for. Thank you so much for tuning in. We call this Afternoon Express right here on SABC3. I'm Bonang Matheba.
I'm Jeannie T.
And I'm Mbuli. I'm so excited to welcome you to our gorgeous loft. This is where we express ourselves and explore our curiosity through fashion, food, music, and an A-list guest list.
Absolutely. It's going to be your favorite place to be every weekday, Monday to Friday, 4 p.m. right here on SABC3. But before Jeannie and Bonnie take you through our beautiful loft to see who exactly is in the house today, do not forget you can chat to us right now on Twitter, Facebook, anywhere you want. On Twitter at Afternoon Chat using the official hashtag Afternoon Express. Let's see if we can get it trending. It's a brand new show. You are going to love it. So Jeannie, who's in the house today, darling?
Well, today we literally have some of the most powerful women in the country, starting off with Karen Zoid, then we have Zolani from Freshly Ground, and then Terry Pheto, and then we have this. So starting off with La Sala, who is our in-house physiotherapist, and then of course ex-football player, fitness enthusiast, gym owner, and definite hottie, Ryan Botha. Welcome, Ryan.
Thank you.
And then uber hottie, Tyrone. Welcome, boys.
I must say, Jeannie, help has never looked this good.
I know.
Not only is this one of the most beautiful kitchens I've ever seen, we also make beautiful food to match. And of course, what's a kitchen without some heat? We've got our helpful hotties, Mr. PE 2013 Peter and Tapo, Mr. Shaga 2014. Welcome, Woolies developer, Nhlaka Mtshali. So, Nhlaka, what are we making today?
Well, it is winter. We're trying to get into the spirits of it, so it is about slow cooking. So what we have today, we've got a roast, which is a pork loin roast. We're going to have it with a bit of rosemary and sage, and then we're going to have some sides with it, some tender stem broccoli and some duck fat roasted potatoes.
Wow, sounds like a winter wonderland.
Yummy, we are cooking. So whatever your vibe, whatever your style, whatever your flavor, we have something for you here on Afternoon Express. And for those of you who are keen gardeners with green fingers, we have our DIY and design expert, Vanna. Hi, Vanna. Hi, let us know what you think of our hotties on all of our social media platforms. Remember, you can Instagram us or Facebook us at Afternoon Express or Twitter, which is Afternoon Chat, #Afternoon Express. And for those of you who like animals of a different kind, we also have our vet, Daniel.
Of course, Jeannie. Meet Daniel Elkin, our veterinarian hottie who pops in once a week to give us tips on how to look after our furry friends at home. What do you say, B?
Daniel, we definitely do have the best looking team on SA television. To see which one of your favorite hotties will be joining us in the loft, make sure that you watch Afternoon Express every single afternoon. But our very first guest is a lady that does not need any introduction. She's been a household name in South Africa for over 10 years, and of course she's traveled the world with her band Freshly Ground. Joining us today on our couch is an absolutely gorgeous, talented, and of course first-time mom, Zolan Mahola. Lovely to have you.
Thanks.
You have the honor of saying you're the very first guest on Afternoon Express. Woo-hoo! Kudos, mommy.
It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling.
You have to be the yummiest mom I have ever seen. And, I mean, we've watched you, your body transforming over these years. Is there, is there a diet? Is there an exercise plan? Is there a change of lifestyle?
Well,
what did you do exactly?
That might have to wait for my own TV show. I cannot reveal all.
Yeah.
But I can say, the usual things, the exactly diet, what you put into your body, what you don't put into your body, and exercise. It is those things that go together.
Absolutely.
And it's no trade secret. You know the things that you're not supposed to eat.
Yeah. And you did say earlier that you have aspirations of becoming a runner. Why a runner?
Yes.
Why not, a swimmer or a cyclist?
Yeah. Well, you know, I ever since, you know, there's very few photographs in my family, like this, you know, growing up, but there's always been this one picture of my dad running a marathon, and I've always been so curious about it. He never really spoke about it, but somehow that found its way into my dreams, and I started dreaming that I was running and all that stuff, and it's taken me so long to get here, but from last year I started running and I really enjoy it.
So how often do you run? Is it an everyday thing, you know?
It's not an everyday thing. I try to do about three to four at the most runs a week, and they're not long runs, they're like 30 minutes, 40 minutes.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
and obviously
cool.
it has, you know, so many sort of like advantages, whether you're on stage singing, you know, make your child as well, making sure you have stamina and energy for your baba. How is it being a first-time mom and kind of fitting that into your international travels, music making, and all of that?
Yeah, it's cool. You know, I think all women, in fact, all parents, you make it work somehow. You know, and it doesn't matter whether you are a superstar or you are an accountant or whatever you do, you make it work for your family and for yourself. Like now, unfortunately, I just came back from Ivory Coast and I had to leave him for a week, so that was quite hard, but you decide here and there, and then you get your team around you as well, you know, your husband or whatever, or the nanny who looks after him, then you just make it work, as I
So
say.
it has been working then, you know, including Freshly Ground, traveling around the world. But what is Freshly Ground up to lately?
Yeah, we are about to release our brand new single. It's a song called Don't Leave Me, so look out for that later on this month. And yeah, as I say, we're touring the world. We're doing another North American tour in June and July. We're going all over the East Coast and a little bit of West Coast of America, and we're doing a Canadian trip as well.
Another experience that I know you loved. I mean, you're a philanthropist, if I have to say, and you are very, very passionate about things that affect, you know, South Africans of the world in general. And one of your passions, obviously, you know, rhino poaching.
Yes.
And you're recently in China performing with Tianjian. Tianjian, there we go.
I was performing with Tianjian. He is Chinese, but we actually did the performance here. He came to South Africa. Came to South Africa to do the performance. We started at the beginning of this year. We did a bit of a workshop process with various creatives, with musicians, with painters, you know, and it was Busy Bailey being one of them, and really to see what we could do to lend our voice to the anti-rhino poaching thing. And Freshly Ground, we are ambassadors for the Chipembera Foundation, which is a rhino foundation, and so that has been very close to our hearts for a long time. So the more noise we can make about it, you know, the better. And I think the amazing thing with Tian, having come here and having taken this on, is that, as we know, the end user largely are the Chinese.
Absolutely.
You know, who believe that rhino horn is going to be good for their, you know,
medicinal,
medicinal
it's very
purposes.
strange.
It's absolutely, so if you can take the message over, then we're doing well.
You know, it always fascinates me how you go about, you know, choosing the people you collaborate with, the initiatives you want to be part of. And you and Karen Zoid, who's actually in studio, you know, today, we're going to be chatting to her a little bit later, have a brand new song called Troublemaker. How do you go about it? What is the creative process of choosing the musicians that you collab with?
That's a good question. I think, you know, over the years, we bump into each other as musicians, you know, and as artists. You know, we bump into each other, and we listen to what everybody's put out, and we're drawn to certain people. Karen and I have been working together now on our own shows, putting on our own shows for a couple of years now, I believe. And so I love working with her, and I love the way that her mind works. I love the way that musically where she's at, so it was really fun for me to collaborate with her on this song Troublemaker.
That's fantastic. Well, you're going to be performing, you know, the track a little bit later, and it's always, you know, I was saying to Zolani, because I play your music so much on my show in Metro FM, I feel like I've interviewed you, and we just realized it's the very first time you and I sat and chat.
I'm very pleased to be sitting across from you.
Me too, you know, I can tick it off my bucket list. Thank you so much for being here. You're going to stick around a little longer right here in the Love. Zolani is going to be performing with Karen Zoid right here on Afternoon Express, their brand new single, Troublemaker. Can't wait for that. Do not go anywhere. After the break, right here on SABC3, we're going to check in on what's cooking in the kitchen. Stick around.
Win your share of 4 million rand in dreams. Dial *120 *762# to enter.
Coming up, in the oven we have a winter pork loin roast, greens and potatoes, plus Karen Zoid tells it like it is on her first English language album.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express on SABC3. So we're about to get the show on the road in the kitchen with Nhlaka with our pork loin roast.
There we go.
And if you're cooking along with us at home, please go to our website, www.afternoonexpress.co.za for the full recipe list and shopping list. Okay, so what's our first step?
The first thing we're going to be doing, we are going to be making a pork loin roast.
Okay.
And I'm just going to be frying off the herbs. And while that fries off, you can open the pork loin roast for me. But if you can just pass me the olive oil there so I can just start here. There we go.
Right, so we're frying this first to seal all the flavor in and all the juices and stuff?
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's going to ensure that all the juices and the flavor remains within the meat.
Okay.
Okay.
And do allow for 90 minutes cooking time, which means it should just be ready for dinner. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an hour and a half, and you're slow cooking it. You don't want to cook it too fast because that's going to make it a bit tough. You do want it still tender, succulent, and juicy, hence the long cooking time.
Okay.
Okay.
What's the best way to cook it?
Well, I mean, there are ways of cheating. What we're going to be doing here is just pot roasting it.
Okay.
But if you don't have time, you can just quickly seal your meat off. And then after that, add your juices and your stocks, and then you just pop it in the oven and you let it go. But here, you want to cook it for long. You want to turn it every 20 minutes, etc.
Right.
Okay, if you can pass me the spoon there, and I can just turn this. Wooden spoon.
Assume a wooden spoon so we don't scratch the pan.
So we don't scratch the pan.
Right, and what herbs are we using and why?
Okay, so we've got rosemary and we've got sage. As you know, sage works really well with pork. It's a complementary herb, so it brings out the flavour of the pork, of the meatiness of the pork.
Right.
And then rosemary also provides a nice neutral flavour to it.
Love the smell of rosemary.
Okay, so as that's frying, we fry it and we let it brown. And then now we're just going to fry our meat. We are going to season it. You can season it for me.
Okay.
There's some salt. There's some pepper.
Okay.
Okay. There you go. I'll throw some salt, you throw some pepper. Okay, generous season. Okay.
Okay.
And then after that, you can turn it around, season the fat side, and then we're going to put it in here. And I'll keep turning that.
So it's quite a lean piece of meat, I see. So all this fat is obviously going to seep down into it and really flavor it.
Absolutely. And I mean, with fat, you know, fat does help with the flavor. It also ensures that it stays moist and it's not so dry. Okay, and as you can see that it's scored. It's a really nice cut, especially for winter.
We love lots of black pepper.
Okay, so I'm just going to put that in there.
Okay.
And you can hear it sizzling. So you just want to cook that at very high heat, and at high heat because you don't want it to boil. You just want it to seal from the frying. So that's exactly what we're going to do. And you can test it every 30 seconds and see if it does brown. If you lift up your meat,
shield myself with
you can see. Okay, and let that cook this side.
Okay.
Then we check it again. You see it does get brown. I'm going to lift up this heat.
Okay.
And then once it's brown on the fat side, we're going to turn it over and let it brown on the meat side.
On the meat side.
And then as it's brown, once it's brown, we're going to take it out, deglaze our pan with a bit of wine, and then return it later, turn down the heat and let that cook for a while longer.
Oh, wow. It's just so much flavor.
Okay, as you can see there, it's brown, it's scored very nicely, and it's got a bit of color.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay, anything I can prepare in the meantime?
Okay, are you ready for our wine? We can grab some wine and we're going to deglaze it. You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Go.
Woo!
There we go.
Should I pour all of it in?
Pour all of it in. There we go.
Okay, that was adventurous.
Okay, and we're going to let that boil a little bit down.
So now that your eyebrows are singed properly, no, I'm kidding. While that simmers, let's join Bea in the lounge as she chats to our next guest.
Thank you so much, Bonnie. You do know it's a very first episode of Afternoon Express right here on SABC3, and we're celebrating with power women. Zolani still chilling with me right here in the lot, and another power South African goddess of rock and roll with 8 studio albums behind her name and more than 10 years in the business. Joining us on the couch, please Please welcome local legend Karen Zoid.
Yeah.
So let's get straight into it. I mean, your first English album, Drown the Noise, after 7 years, went straight to #1 on the South African iTunes download chart. How did that feel for you?
Amazing.
Yeah, and what else?
I mean, I was just very grateful. I think I was lucky. I wrote a song with Francois van Coke that went viral.
Yeah.
And his single went to #1, so I think I coattailed. I think it was a lucky, yeah.
I don't think so.
It was like, now that's what I call music. And then,
I love that. But why, the decision to do an English album after so many years?
I've been working on a lot of things. I've been doing a lot of collaborations with lots of artists like Zolani and Honor Carstens and Vusi Matlasela and Francois van Coke. And I did a lot of Afrikaans work. And I did an Afrikaans album in 2012, and it was just time to do something. I think a lot of people think I've died, so I just wanted to do something. I'm still alive.
She's still here, still making incredible music. And let's talk about the collaborations, particularly the one with Zolani. This is not the first time you two have worked together. Where did this love affair begin, if I call it that? Can I call it that?
You may call it that.
When did it start, Zolani?
Definitely. Jeez, I can't remember when the very first point of contact was, but we have been seeing each other at gigs and things throughout the years. Do you remember? You got a great memory.
It was SABC 2. It was the year that Johnny Clegg played at Emerentia
Yes.
Park.
Yes.
I met you there for the first time. I was in
Amazing.
2002.
That's incredible.
Very long time ago.
And now fast forward to 2015, a brand new single, Troublemaker. Something very interesting happened while you were in studio writing the song. You actually were in studio writing this particular collaboration the day Udada passed away.
Yes.
In studio. How was that for the both
Oh,
of
it
you?
was the thing with the song is it's a kind of the song is kind of like a prophecy, I guess, in a way, because it's called Troublemaker, Rolihlahla, and then obviously Nelson meaning peacemaker. So the whole song was about it's a prophecy. It's calling the next Troublemaker / peacemaker.
Wow.
We're calling that young boy and that young girl to come and be that for us again.
And for you to write a song like that on a day like that, how did that feel?
Yeah, it was.
You can't even
Auspicious
plan
in a
that.
way. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, funny. I mean, that man held so much meaning for our country, for us, for the whole world. I mean, wherever you go, we just, as I said, just come back from Ivory Coast. Wherever you go, everybody talks about Mandela, and he's going to be a huge icon. I guess until the end of time,
Forever,
maybe.
yeah.
So to write a song kind of in praise of him and in praise of the next person who will come and lead us, it's a wonderful feeling. It's a warming feeling.
You know what I loved, particularly in that song? At the end, you have a chant, like a Xhosa chant.
Yes.
Why the decision to include that? And what does it
Yeah.
mean for somebody that doesn't understand isiXhosa?
Yes. It's actually something that I always used to hear my stepmother say at the end of prayers. She would go, "Makudet bumnyama kuvele kukhanya," which is may the darkness disappear and may the light arise, I suppose,
Wow.
And yeah, for me, it's just such a powerful image. I mean, in South Africa, we've gone through so many periods of darkness, and come out into light, and we are once again in another period of darkness, and hopefully we will come out into the light.
And talking about light, you recently, kind of sparkled a little bit of light and love in somebody's life, a young man's dream that you saw on the streets of Oudtshoorn, and you actually invited him on stage. How was that experience? And, why the decision to bring him on stage and do all of that for him?
No, it was just this kid that was busking on the street corner there.
Yeah?
It was very weird, like a Sotho guy singing in Afrikaans at Oudtshoorn. I was like, what?
This kid, he's like a 19. Yes. I saw his stuff on YouTube,
And,
actually.
Yeah. And so with this chat show, I had the opportunity. I was inviting guests, like celebrities and whatever, and doing interviews, and we just asked him to come on the show that evening, and he just blew everybody away.
And that's
super talented
Amazing.
young kid. Yeah.
And talking about shows, Madame, you've now got a new position on a new TV show on our sister channel, SABC One. You're now going to be judging a singing competition.
Yeah.
A cappella groups. Are you excited? What are you looking forward to most in the journey?
I am very excited. I mean, the a cappella thing has got a... There've been great acts coming out of South Africa. I mean, with the Soil being the most recent, and of course Ladysmith Black Mamazo. But I'm interested in seeing what people can do, kind of to shake it up, shake up the whole thing, and come with something new. So I'm interested to see what the talent is coming out of Mzansi.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. Well, ladies, thank you very much for joining us on Afternoon Express. Please do not go anywhere because you are going to be performing Troublemaker for us. I believe that.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, if you want to see that awesome performance, make sure you do not go anywhere. The brand new single, Troublemaker, Zolani and Karen are going to be performing in the loft for the very first time. I'm so excited about that. But you know what they say about summer bodies being created in winter? Well, we are going to give you the 411. After the break, Jeannie will be giving us some workout tips. Don't move.
Right now, Ryan Botha shows us how body weight can keep us fit. And actress Terry Pheto is back from LA pursuing her next venture as a film producer.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express on SABC3. Now, keeping fit by doing regular exercises is so important, but yet we put it on hold because life gets so busy and we have a million other things going on in our lives. Now, today we are lucky enough to have the fitness guru Ryan Botha in studio to show us how we can keep fit by showing us the top exercises in the world. And we can do it any time when time is an issue. So welcome, Ryan.
Thanks, nice to be here, boys.
Okay,
well, basically, obviously doing body weight, so we'll start you with a squat. So make sure your feet are shoulder width apart. Obviously, your knees always follow your feet, so make sure your toes are quite straight. Come down.
I mean, this is just the most important exercise ever, though. Okay.
For a female, it's great. Keeps those glutes nice and tight. Make sure your core is pulled in nice and tight.
How do you know if you're doing it correctly? I mean, if you're doing it incorrectly, can you literally do hundreds of squats and then you won't get the right effect?
When you look down, make sure you can always see your toes. If you can't, you're obviously overextending beyond your toes, which that means you're at your
am I
knees.
doing it right?
Perfect, yes.
Okay.
First movement, get back into it, sit back and up. Make sure your knees don't pass.
Bottom out, like as much as possible.
It creates the curve.
Okay, let's get curves.
Creates that curve. So basically, you would sit back into it, all the way up. So do 20 of these, all the way up, full extension, squeeze the glutes. And after 20, stay down nice and tight. Pulse it out, sitting down for that final burn. Count to 20, come up. 3 sets of that, and you'll be halfway for a start. You'll feel the blood flow, nice and warm. You can feel we're all breathing already. Heart rate's up.
Okay, so now exercise number 2.
Okay, a lunge. From there, obviously, still keeping to the same areas. Core nice and tight, belly button pulled in. All the way back, bring your leg up as high as you can. Full range, same leg to start. Make sure it's a functional movement, so if you bring your left leg back, make sure obviously the left arm is a functional balanced movement. You don't want to come back, it's awkward. Core nice and tight. It's like you're running nice and controlled.
So like now I'm falling all over the place and that's obviously not working, but if I don't fall, it's because my core's engaged.
100%.
Okay.
Your core is your balancer, your stabilizer. Everything comes from the core.
Excellent.
So all the way down. After 20 of those, or 5 or 10, depending on the person, nice and low.
You just hold it.
Pulse it out. Small pulses for that final
What
burn.
does that actually do, that pulse?
Keeping the blood there.
Burn.
It's keeping the blood there, keeping the shape of the muscles, that final little wummer.
Great. Exercise number 3.
Okay. Interesting with you now with your heels.
I can
Feet
do
nice and
everything
wide
in
like a
heels, right?
ballerina. Same thing for a squat, sit back. As I said before, knees will always follow your toes. Okay, so feet out, there we go, up and down.
I did ballet as a kid. I can manage this, I'm sure.
Widen your feet slightly for me. There we go. All the way up, all the way down. There we go. So again, depending on the person, 5, 10, 15, 20. Stay down for pulses.
Okay. And our final easy exercise.
So stick with the bum, come down on all fours. Comfortable position. Again, core nice and tight. Full extension, make sure when you come up, your toe points away. All the way through to your elbow.
It's definitely working.
You can try on, Mum.
Let's see your form. Let's see your form. Come down all fours. Okay, comfortable.
Thanks, guys. Yes.
Belly button in, tight,
Yeah.
nice and tight. Squeeze your glutes.
Okay.
Bring that leg all the way up, pointing your toe away from you. There we go, and back down, full way to the elbow.
Okay, well, there really is no excuse. I mean, these exercises you can literally do in the comfort of your own home. Incorporate these easy-to-do exercise routines when you have any free time because they are simple enough to do and will not take up much time. And now, ladies and gentlemen, one of my favorite women on the planet is in our loft today, and she's here with Bonang.
Thank you so much, Jeannie. Hit us up right now on Twitter and let us know which one of those moves you will be using this winter, because we want to see those summer bodies, right? And like I said before, summer bodies are created in winter. So tweet us right now at Afternoon Chat and use our official hashtag Afternoon Express. But right now, I'm sitting with a true leading lady. Terry Pheto describes herself as an ordinary woman with extraordinary dreams and ideas. What an honor to have you here. Welcome to Afternoon Express.
So thank you so much.
Hey, welcome to the loft. How is it? We always ask our guests what they think, right?
This is really, really beautiful. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. What an honor, you know. You know, Terry, when I look back at your story, reading interviews and just following your career, you really do have a fairy tale sort of like story, being discovered, finding your path through Tsotsi to Bold and the Beautiful, obviously, you know, ending up on the red carpet at the Oscars. How was that moment for you when you were discovered by a casting agency?
I guess you never know how your life can change. And at that moment, when I was still, you know, a young upcoming artist, goes away to, you know, doing theatre for the love of it, not getting paid, and just, you know, like you wake up, you're there at 8 o'clock every day until 6 o'clock. And to be discovered by one of the, you know, best casting directors and talent agent in the country, at the time didn't make sense. Only until I started going to auditions and, you know, knowing who's your agent and the reaction that you get and understanding what everything meant. And Tsotsi, you know, and being protected as well, because before Tsotsi there were other roles that I was offered, and, you know, Munin will say, I don't think so. You know, like having someone who guides you as well in terms of the choices that you make with a career. Like, not every opportunity is a great opportunity, so you don't have to say yes to everything because people want you.
So that's my next question then. How do you choose, you know, the roles you get into? How do you know that, hey, I want to act in Tsotsi, and hey, it might end up winning an Oscar? Is there something that just clicks in your head, or is it the script? What draws you to a specific role?
I wish it was that easy, because then I have, like, you know, a pilot script that I know, like, okay, for the next 5 years I will have 7 Oscars or more. But it's not that easy. Good scripts are hard to, you know, to come across. And when you find a good one that speaks to you, for me, it's always been the kind of storyteller I wanted to be. And I just wanted to be someone who can speak the truth in an art form. And the role of Tsotsi to me was something that I was like, okay, this makes sense to me. I get this woman. As vulnerable as she is, she's the most powerful person I'll ever play in my career.
One of the highlights in my career was getting on a plane, following you to the CBS studios in Los Angeles in West Hollywood and documenting your life and time on the Bold and the Beautiful set. For me, it was absolutely amazing. Watching you there, shooting the cover of Top Billing magazine and, you know, doing this whole insert for Top Billing. But, you know, how do you think, you know, TV production differs in Los Angeles and in South Africa? You know, the style of making TV.
I mean, I haven't done a soapy locally, so, but I think the format is the same. Multicam, no time, we shoot fast. Whereas with film, you have the whole day to do 2 scenes. So that was like, you know, a shock for me. You know, the pace of the work. With film, you have 1 camera, you have the whole day, you have time to talk about your character. You know where the story is coming from and where it's going to end. Whereas with soapy, it can go, you know, either way. You have no idea what's going to happen 500 episodes later.
Absolutely.
So it's just being in the moment. It was a fun experience. I mean, I learned a lot. I mean, you were there.
I was there. I was just like, oh,
you know,
man.
It was also beautiful. Like, I never expected anything like that to happen. And even when I got a call, I thought maybe it's a joke. Like, who does the Bold and Beautiful? Like.
You do. And you've evolved and you've created a company called Leading Lady.
Yes.
Falls obviously under the umbrella, this production, this lifestyle, there's management and, you know, people that take care of you. And last year you produced your very first feature film.
I did.
Under your
so
own production company.
Yes.
Girl. Let's talk about that. How was that?
I came across a script, at the time it was called Ayana the Mechanic. couple of years ago with Sarah Bletcher and fell in love, had a meeting with her, and she wanted me to, to play one of the, characters there. And as time went by, the story sort of changed, and I loved the idea of who Ayanda was becoming, and we spoke about that, and like, actually, maybe we should co-produce this together. And we started working on that project, and now it's ready, and it will be screened at Cannes 2015.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so I'm heading to Cannes.
So you're
in a couple of
skipping
weeks.
all of that and going straight to the world's biggest film festival, darling. You are a leading lady, but for a woman like yourself, who's moved from an Oscar red carpet to producing her own feature film, to being featured on international magazines, what has been your proudest moment yet?
That's a
If
tough
you can
one.
pick one, because I mean, you're so...
I feel like, with everything that I think if you plan your life, sometimes you get disappointed. But sometimes if you just like work hard and make the right choices, then you know that everything that you do will open a door for the next project. And I feel like my career has been like that. From Tsotsi to Bold and Beautiful, it all makes sense. Like one door will open another door for you. So it's been like that, and I can't wait to see what the next couple of years, what's going to happen, and where Leading Lady's going, and where Terry Pheto is going as well. And I did a film last year as well, so it's coming out later this year, an art house film.
So Terry is going to hang out with us right here in the loft. She mentioned the dinner, so we're going to be checking up on that straight after the break with Bonnie. Also chatting all things men's fashion. Craig Port is also here, so do not go anywhere. Karen, Zoid and Zolani are also going to be performing their brand new single, Troublemaker. All this and more happening right here on SABC3. Don't move.
Up next, direct from Fashion Week, Craig Port's Winter 2015 Black Moon Rising collection, plus rustic roast potatoes with tender stem broccoli.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express on SABC3. Now, Nhlaka, we have boiled the potatoes for 20 minutes. What's next?
Okay, so we've boiled the potatoes. Here we've got pink fir potatoes, but you can use any other potatoes that you do have.
Okay, right.
Boil them, and now we're just going to put them into the roasting tray. Okay, so if you can take that and throw it in there.
Okay.
There we go.
Here we go.
And then all we're going to do, you'll just feel the potatoes. Are they soft enough? Yes, they are soft enough.
Okay.
And then all you need to do is just smash it down like this.
Oh, so we're making crushed potatoes.
We're making crushed potatoes, and
Okay.
that just gives it a rustic look. Not too much,
Not too much, just a little.
just a little. Okay, and now while you do that, I'm going to do our other side, which is tender stem broccoli. So basically, this is tender stem broccoli, and what I've done here is that I've just chopped it up into chunks. And all we're going to do is put this into a roasting tray. How's the smashing going in there?
It's going well. You seem to love rustic cooking.
Well, I mean, you want everything to look really good on your plate, and it shouldn't be too finesse and look like it just came out of this amazing kitchen. It must look like, you...
Look more like my stuff, yeah.
Look like your stuff, Then you trust it. Okay, so I've got the broccoli here. I'm going to put some garlic and just mix this into here. Okay, and what we've done with the garlic, we've basically crushed it. Okay?
Right.
And sometimes people like boiling broccoli. I prefer...
Is that a no-no?
No, you can do it. I mean, it's quick, but just to get a bit of flavor, you want the broccoli to be charred, hence why we're doing it in the oven.
Oh, okay, cool.
That's some olive oil.
And next I need to season these potatoes.
Okay, you need to season those potatoes.
Okay.
So just to speed that up, just press that a bit rustically. Okay.
What else can I use duck fat for?
You can use duck fat, obviously roasted potatoes. I do use them on roasted vegetables. So if you have whole carrots and some half onions and some garlic, you can use it onto there. And you can use duck fat to make duck confit. Okay.
Oh, wow, I was just going to fry an egg with it.
You can do that too if you want to. Okay, let me put some olive oil for you here.
Awesome.
Okay, and then we just need to add our rosemary.
And of course, a bit of pepper.
A bit of pepper.
Some black pepper.
And the most important ingredient that you are forgetting, since it is duck fat roasted potatoes, is the...
Duck fat!
There we go. Okay. And then you can just throw a bit of duck fat into there.
Okay, do I just pour it on?
Just pour it on. Okay, I'm going to season this.
More like gooi it on.
As my seasoning.
Okay.
Okay, go wild. All of it.
Wow. It smells so rich.
Yeah, it does provide a nice, rich
Say when, because I'm just going to keep pouring.
Go for it, go for it. And make sure that you get it on the sides too, and not just in the middle.
Ooh. Okay.
Okay.
There we go.
That looks good.
Oof.
And then after that, we put that
A
in the
lifetime
oven.
on the hips there, huh?
A moment on the hips. Okay, we put that in the oven and
Okay.
at 180 together with our tender stem broccoli.
Awesome. So while we pop that in the oven, let's join Jeannie, who's on standby with leading designer Craig Port, ready to chat men's winter wear.
Thanks, Bonnie. If you've just joined us, it's Afternoon Express, all new on SABC3. Now, the man in your life may be able to change attire, but what does he know about style? If he's more into DIY tools than designer clothes, then we have just the expert on hand to give you the tips you need to drop the right hints this season. We've got South African celebrity designer Craig Port with here today in our loft. Welcome, Craig. Now,
Hi, Jeannie.
I have to tell you, every single time I go to Fashion Week, you are one of my favorites. I mean, you know how to dress a man.
Well, thank you.
Now, you really are such a creative genius. When did you know that you had this talent?
Well, it wasn't a turning point in my life, but I think, I was which not many people know, I was an avid sportsman, I was an Natal sprinter, I had a scholarship to an American university for athletics, I was into sports, I was like a real jock at school.
Yeah.
But then I also had this other interest in clothing, so all my friends and the jocks used to see all these girls flocking around me, but I was also dressed in these like really outrageous clothing. So I ended up getting the first rugby team to always wear kind of out there clothing. So I realized that, if you wear something with confidence and something you believe in, you actually can, start setting trends. And I think I started like in my high school years. It wasn't what my father wanted me to do. I ended up studying, I did a legal BCom first, and then, as I said, I was a sportsman, but it was nothing I really wanted to do. And eventually at 21, I went back and studied fashion. And yeah, since then, I've been involved in it,
Amazing.
from then.
Amazing. Your father must be proud now, though.
Yeah, he is. May rest in peace. Unfortunately, he's my
Yes.
late father. But
Sure.
he was very proud of what I'd done.
But that's also very good advice, I think, for the typical South African man as well, is because I think a well-dressed man is almost to women what a woman in beautiful lingerie is to men. So the effect and the power of being well-dressed is remarkable. Men need to start dressing better.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's, and I wish more men would think like that and realize that that's the way women feel and think. I've noticed the younger generation have really been exposed to fashion and trends, and they're not scared to dress anymore.
But fashion is evolving so quickly. And I mean, I think before, men's fashion was, just a bit of basic pants, basic this. Now there's so many more options, I think, for men. How do you stay in tune with these trends and keep on reinventing the man look?
You're talking about myself or the man on the street?
Both.
I think myself, it's always just exposing myself to what's happening and, always being inspired. And, I've got a lot of young designers that work with me. And I think staying plugged in and staying relevant to what's happening in society. And I think with fashion and design, you've always got to be like that. And I think that same applies to everything in our lives, because our lives are just a master designed thing. So if everyone starts being more plugged in and more aware of what's going on and what the zeitgeist of the world is, they will all be naturally inspired by fashion and design. So yes, and I think with the advent of social media and television and music videos, and also within South Africa, being so exposed to it for the first time and being up to date with what's happening on international level, I think it's unbelievable, the transformation of how menswear has gone like leaps and bounds, and men are daring to dress.
Amazing. And I think you are such an amazingly dynamic man. I mean, like you said, you were the jock and the babe at school night, this top designer, but you're also now a father. Like, what kind of dynamic does that add to it?
Well, I mean, that's like my dream come true.
Your kids are exceptionally beautiful, I have to tell you. Every time I see the photos pop up on Facebook, I get all broody. How beautiful.
Yeah, it was such a long journey for me and such a thrill to actually get to have children. And, they're 4.5 now. And the journey with them, it almost was a natural journey of life for me. And it's changed everything. It's changed everything about my design. It's made me more enthusiastic. It's maybe made my designs more lighter. But what it also has done to me is it's made me realize how design should design your life. Because I think now being a father, being more active, I was all about the look before. Now it's about functionality as well, which I think a lot of the time we forget about, And for me now, in all my clothing, it's how do you make a functional man also look stylish and also look trendy, but be able to bend over, to play sport, to do everything with his children and everything.
Yeah.
I think that's what they've done for me. And I think everything in life is an inspiration, whatever it is, good or bad. I mean, you'll see within my collection, there's some inspirations that I've drawn from my experiences with my children,
And speaking of your collection, we actually have your Winter 2015 collection here, Black Moon Rising. Let's bring out our boys. Oh, just
Well, this is
fabulous.
Yeah, isn't it just? This is the military-inspired shirt, jacket, which is actually one of the key trends of this winter. And then also the jogger. I mean, it's all about the jogger. If you look, there's zips everywhere. The jogger is the perfect drop crotch jogger. And the epaulets on the shoulder gives that whole military-inspired look. And there we have the silhouette of the season. That silhouette is my best. It's actually the longer length shirt. It's really caught on so incredibly well. And I mean, it just makes so much sense with what's happening with the silhouettes of the trousers, because that narrow trouser, again, the zip detail down the side of the trouser, and then on the shoulders, that zip detail, because zips are everywhere, from formal wear to casual wear. As you'll see there again on the biker jacket.
Stunning.
I mean, ivory and black, I think that's exactly what winter is about. I mean, it's quite a new thing to wear ivory in winter. I mean, those joggers, again, it's all about performance joggers, zip detail.
Sporty and sexy and edgy at the same time. And has the length of the leg gotten a little bit shorter this season?
Absolutely. I think there seems to be a lot of people
Men are showing off their ankles
Absolutely. And there we have the logo CP, which I think is just kind of just explains what the collection all is about. Zips on the side of the sweatshirt. So the sweatshirt has been reinvented. Again, it's about the layering, the longer length, the mandarin collar shirt. That's the Eastern influence within the collection.
Love. Oh, wow.
Now this is the the finale look. I mean, if we look, there's a tuxedo jacket. There's my fantastic karate belt, which I was telling about earlier. That was inspired by my son, which after dressing him for his karate days, I realized, isn't that a fantastic look to tie the Obi belt like that? And so that's where that inspiration came from. Again, the tunic shirt, and worn with the slinkiest, straightest leg, straightest cut trouser you could imagine.
I love it.
It's all about the silhouette there. I think every man should have a tuxedo jacket, in his wardrobe.
Definitely.
And not to be worn as a tuxedo all the time. I mean, you can wear it with a t-shirt and jeans and flip-flops even, or sneakers or something like that. I think it's an essential. I think stop hiring tuxedos.
No, nobody must ever hire a tuxedo.
No, go out and buy the tuxedo. I mean, you don't have to buy the whole suit, just buy the jacket. I think that's a staple in every man's wardrobe.
Exactly. Okay, more tips.
More tips. So I think on these two looks here, if we see what Werner and Tsepo's wearing.
I never forget his name.
Okay, Tsepo,
especially
sorry
not in
about
those
that.
pants.
Yes. So with Werner, you say, how can we make this look? So I would first take off the Japanese-inspired belt, which changes the shape of it. You loosen the jacket. You straight away have got a more casual look, and it makes it more wearable. It takes that whole runway look and makes it street fashion and something not so, it's almost accessible. And then also it's something I do quite a lot, where you have a scarf and you're looking for that pocket square, you take the scarf off, you're going to a night function, you push the scarf bit into your pocket, there you've got the perfect little pocket square.
Exactly.
That is one of my little secrets. Completely
that
changed.
is
And he's ready
sensational.
for that red carpet look.
Yeah.
Then we come here, this is more like of a casual, whatever kind of look, street look. If you want to reinvent it again, you take the jogger, you pull it up to the knee. You've got quite strong calves, obviously working out a lot. It works.
We keep them busy here in our loft.
You pull that down, there you are. And then you've got another look. It's sport-inspired, it's athletic, it kind of goes to day wear, which is the opposite, which has happened here.
Absolutely
So,
gorgeous.
guys, I think you
look
great.
fantastic. And thank you so much, Great Port,
no,
for
it's been
coming
wonderful.
to our
Oh, my
loft. So wonderful
And
to have you.
congratulations on this fantastic show.
Thank you so much. Now, you're actually going to stay with us for dinner. And when we return, ladies and gentlemen, a performance that I can tell you, when they put the write-ups on theatre performances, it's transcendent after the break. Welcome back to Afternoon Express on SABC3. Now, I am so excited to present to you our first live musical performance in our loft, and it is possibly one of the best collaborations I've heard in the history of South African music. It is Karen Zoid, it is Zolani Mahola, it is Troublemaker. Take it away, guys.
as it begins. No one loses and no one wins. For the truth to stay in sync, don't believe everything you think. Fatherless little boy, mother's precious pride and joy, and the boy becomes a man, greatest Southern African. He was a troublemaker. He wore his boxing gloves. He was a peacemaker. Taught the world to love. 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 Somewhere in this broken land, there's a woman or a man. Find yourself, young boy, young girl. Country's pride is growing still, but history has shown it can change its course within one man. We will wait for the one who will change the days to come. You're a troublemaker. You wear your boxing gloves. You're a peacemaker. You teach the world to love. You teach the world to love. You teach the world to love. Highest praise to the rebel. Highest praise to the rebel. Highest praise to the rebel. The one who took a punch when he deserved a medal. Singing praise to the rebels. Highest praise to the rebel. Highest praise to the rebel. The one who took a punch when he deserved a medal. Singing praise to the rebel. Highest praise to the rebel. Highest praise to the rebel. Now praise to the rebel. Highest praise to the rebel. Highest praise to the rebel. Yeah. Highest praise to the rebel. 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 Highest praise to the rebel.
Wow, 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 wow. Just beautiful. Ladies, that was incredible. We've got some gifts for you.
But anyway, thank you so much to Karen and to Zolani. There we go. Keep you warm in the winter and literally drown the noise.
Do you know that Karen Zoid actually needed these a good couple of years ago? She was my hall prefect in boarding school, and I think these would have done her very good. Would have done you better back then. Well done.
Thanks for having us, guys.
Thank you so much.
So while Nhlaka finishes that off, I've got a surprise of my own for my lovely guests. Here we go. Open it up, please. Open it up. Now, Terry, you told B earlier that you love shopping, particularly during sale time, so...
I think sale is my second favorite S word.
Ta-da! Your second favorite S word, wow. Terry's... Oh... So we thought we'd give you two little designer sewing kits to inspire your kiddies in case they also want to follow in your footsteps.
Absolutely.
Do you think I can wear this on the red carpet?
I could make it work, darling.
Let's make it work.
That
I love it.
I think it's rather kinky. I think it would make kinky bedroom
Yeah,
wear.
just cut the sleeves and make it sexy. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That's it from us. Thank you so much for joining us. Happy eating.
Absolutely, it's been so fantastic. A big, big thank you to all our guests, of course, to Karen Zoid, Zolani Mahola, and of course, Terry Pheto for coming through. If any I think this show is going to be a troublemaker right here on SABC3, wouldn't you say?
Exactly. And we cannot wait to do it all again tomorrow. Same time, same place. Good evening and happy eating.
Good night.
Mwah.
Cheers.
Join us tomorrow to see Louise Carver's new range of bridal jewellery and get impromptu dinner party essentials with Italian caponata, roast chicken and polenta.
Join us next time for more fabulous fun inspired by First for Women on Afternoon Express. For an insurance quote, call 0861 11 18 44 or SMS FIRST to 49267.